What's up, horror fam?
You know what time it is.
Let's get into this.
Let's get into this. Oh, hold on. Wait, that's not my show. Anyways. Hey, JT and Ryan. This is Bill Van Bagel from Phantom Galaxy and Land of the Creeps. I just listened to your 1980 and 1981 horror retrospective and absolutely loved it. You guys killed it and did an awesome job. You got into the ones that the listeners need to know about and also kind of let them discover the ones that they want to find out on their own. So you guys did awesome. I just thought because I loved it so much, I'd put my 2 cents worth in for 1982 and 1983. And I'm not going to get into the big ones because you guys are going to do a fantastic job and obviously cover the ones you need to. So I just thought I'd talk about a couple that from each of those 2 years that people might not know about or that you guys might not touch upon, only because there's so much to get into. And before I get into 1982, the one from 1981 you didn't mention was Canada's own The Pit, about a really pervy kid who kind of seeks revenge, and it becomes a creature feature with things in the forest. I'll just kind of leave it like that. If you haven't seen The Pit, well, it's quite the experience. Let's just put it that way. For 1982, you guys had a lot of super killer movies out that year, and you guys are going to touch upon them. I'm not going to waste my time on those. A couple other ones that I have seen. Great White, aka The Last Shark, is a fun one for me because it's one of the better Jaws ripoffs. It's an Italian ripoff on Jaws, and it's even got a Quint-like character. And they're out seeking out the Great White, or the last shark that's causing problems on a seaside town. And that kind of sounds familiar. Well, it is. It was actually sued by Jaws to stop running because it was so close. So, check out The Last Shark. I think it's on Tubi or it's on Prime. It's on one of the streaming services. Venom with Oliver Reed. And Oliver Reed is always bang up. Even when he's drinking, he's good. And Venom is about a group of people that kidnap a kid in a house, and little do they realize a giant snake is in there. So it's a fun one, especially if you like snake movies. And I know you touched upon Argento with a couple of his films in the 80 and 81 episode. I want to make sure you talk about Tenebrae with John fucking Saxon. Great movie about an author and a lot of things that end up getting really bloody in that movie. So Tenebrae is worth looking into. The Dorm That Dripped Blood. Now, not exactly a household favorite, but I know Jay Piles of Horror Movie Podcast enjoys the film. And it's about a bunch of college kids in their dorm room when people are out of there, and there's a killer out there chopping off young teens. I mean, it's a typical trope, but you could do a lot worse with 90 minutes of your time. Humongous is another one that I've seen a couple times, and it's about somebody who's born as a result of criminal activity. And let's just say more teens or early young adults show up on an island and mayhem and killing ensue. It's also a really dark film, not dark in the terms of its story, like literally it's dark. So we go with it with that. And if you want one just awful, but you won't forget watching it, check out The Forest. It's people go into the forest and some pretty wacky things happen. It's one of those so bad it's bad. It's not even so bad it's good, but The Forest is one to look at. 1983, again, lots of big ones. You guys are going to touch upon those. I'm not going to get into those, but a couple of them include The Final Terror. And The Final Terror has one of our faves, Adrian Zmed, and a young Daryl Hannah. Again, going into the forest, going camping, and not listening to the forest ranger. One of the rules is always listen to your forest ranger. The Keep. Now, The Keep is a deep one involving Nazis and supernatural and things being taken out that you didn't think should be let out. Genie out of the bottle kind of situation. The Keep is one that you're not going to expect something from, and you end up going, wow, that's actually pretty good. Now, here's one that's near and dear to my heart, and that's Microwave Massacre. And I saw Microwave Massacre when I was much too young. Jackie Vernon, the voice of, who's that Christmas? Frosty the Snowman, plays a guy that basically kills hookers, chops them up, and puts them in his freezer. and eats it with his buddies at work the next day as a construction worker. It's absolutely hilarious. There's not a lot of horror. It's tongue-in-cheek. But Microwave Oscar is one that I go to from time to time because it's got sentimental value and it's a lot of fun. Now, there's two more. Spasms, another Oliver Reed film, and Peter Fonda, shot in Toronto. It has to do with crocodiles or somebody that's turning into a reptile. Let's just leave it at that. There's some research that goes on there. It's wacky. It's not great, but it's a fun watch. Now, the last one I'm going to mention from 1983 that some people don't consider horror, you might. Something Wicked This Way Comes. It was a dark Disney film involving a circus in town, kind of a vaudeville kind of setup, and something is happening there. And there's scenes involving mirrors, there's scenes involving carnies. It's worth watching. The last one I'll mention for 1983, it is not horror, but it's a dark crime thriller, and it's about the Playboy model Dorothy Stratton, and that's Star 80 with Eric Roberts. Again, not horror, but dark and well worth watching. Anyways, you guys are going to kick ass and take names later. Awesome show, guys. I can't wait to hear how it turns out. Keep on rocking. Play some Metallica. Play some Pantera. Play some Anvil. And keep horror alive.
We're going to get into it. All right, so here we are again. We're continuing on with our 80s retrospective.
Yes.
And, so if you guys listened to last week's episode, you got 1980 and 1981, and there were some great films in those 2 years. But we are moving on. We're going to do 1982 and 83 in this episode.
And 83, guys. Come on.
There's quite a few movies that have come out in these 2 years as well.
Yes.
That are just classic horror movies that we feel everybody needs to see.
Yeah, and then at the end of this, we're going to go all through the 80s, guys, all the way up to 89. And then our last episode, we're going to do our top 10 horror movies from the 80s. It's going to be hard to do that with how many.
But we're going to do it because you deserve it.
Yes, we're doing it for you guys.
We're doing it for you.
Do it for Johnny.
I'm trying to help you out, fucker.
Trying to help you, motherfucker. Yeah. Where's the motherfucker lady when you need her? We need a soundboard.
We do. I need to get me one of those roadcasters and put that as the fucking sound effect.
Dude, we got
trying to help you, motherfucker.
Motherfucker. Yeah, dude, we got it.
Anyway,
Anyways,
that's
guys,
enough fuckery for now.
As we said, we're going to be getting into the 1982 and 1983. So, we're going to start off with 82, of course, next in line. This is a great year for horror. A lot of good things. A lot of good things came out in 82 in the horror world here, guys. All right, I got some written down. If you want to stop me on something, you want to...
No, you go right ahead. You spill it. You spill them beans.
Well, let's just go with one of all of our favorites. The Thing.
The Thing.
Of course, it's a remake.
It was, but way better than the original.
Yeah, it got
better.
Kurt fucking Russell.
Yeah.
Enough
You just
said.
can't beat Kurt Russell and John Carpenter working together.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
Jesus.
That's for damn sure. I mean, that's just the perfect combination.
Yeah, it is.
But, yeah, so The Thing, guys, remake, 1982. Do you want to go in depth on this one? Or I got a feeling this one might make your list.
It probably will. I remember seeing this movie when I was really young. Honestly, I probably saw it in 83 because we had cable and they were playing the shit out of it on HBO.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom walking in and I'm eating a frickin' pizza and watching The Thing, and she's like, that looks just like what you're watching. How can you eat that? And I'm like, whatever,
Yeah, it's all part of the game.
It is what it is.
And for me, The Thing, I was probably 10 when I seen this one. And And that was a long time after it came out. But
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I was only born 3 years after this came out. So, another great movie. We won't go too much into this one, guys, because I got a feeling this is probably going to make at least
it's
one
going to
of our
make
lists.
the big list, I'm sure.
So-
I'm sure. But lots of gore, star-studded cast.
Great movie. Great.
The isolation in that movie is just can't be beat.
Oh, yeah.
The Thing.
So, what's it? You wanted me to keep going, or you stop me at any point in time?
Yeah, keep going.
Well, I got another one that I don't know if this is going to make the list, but it's going to be right there. It's going to be in the talks. That's Halloween 3.
Halloween 3, I just cannot say enough about that movie. That movie is hated by so many people, but I absolutely love that film. I was a little disturbed by it when it first came out because I was like, where's Michael Myers? But now I get it, and that's a movie. I probably watch that movie a couple times a year.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I always watch it around Halloween. I love what they did with that film. It's...
2 more days till Halloween.
Yeah, it's campy. It's screwed up. It's got Jamie Lee Curtis as the announcer. It's 8 o'clock curfew.
You know,
I love this movie.
this movie, if you watch this movie as a standalone,
Yeah, and that's what you have to do.
you will appreciate this movie very
yeah,
much.
absolutely.
I think so.
absolutely.
You know, I think that if you watch this movie just as a standalone movie by itself, no expectations as far as Halloween franchise go, you'll love this movie.
Yeah,
You know, that's the way I look at it.
yeah, yeah. Great film. Great film. Well, I'm gonna pull out one of my big ones here. I'm gonna pull out my big one here.
I never heard that.
No, I've never said that, honestly. But I'm just going to throw this on the board right now. This is probably one of my favorite films from 1982, and possibly one of my favorite films, period. It's definitely in my top 5, I can guarantee you that. And that is Tobe Hooper's Poltergeist.
Ah, yes, Poltergeist.
That film is so... It hit every chord for me. I mean, because I love haunted house movies. I love ghost stories. A little bit of gore is okay. I'm not really a gore hound, but I just like... I love what they did with this film. Everything about it. That movie, to me, would easily get a 10.
See,
there's nothing I hate about
We won't go too deep into it since I'm sure that's going to be on your list.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, for me, Poltergeist, great fucking movie. You know, and still holds up.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, and look at the cast. You had Craig T. Nelson, Joe Beth Williams, the Carol Ann.
Yeah, what's her name? Rourke.
Heather O'Rourke. And then you had Karen.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll get way in depth with that probably in the last episode because I can guarantee you that's going to be on my list.
Yeah. So great film. Everyone's probably seen it. You guys know. Still
if you
holds up.
haven't, you need to see this film.
Still holds up today.
It is. Probably one of the best ghost story movies out there.
Yes.
So,
Another fun one from that time. This is, we've talked about it before on multiple episodes, but Creepshow.
yes.
Creepshow.
Yes.
1982. Another fun one. Corny. For me, I seen this after I had already watched Tales from the Crypt. So I look at it at like it reminded me of Tales from the Crypt. So that's just the order I've seen these.
Yeah, and seeing Tales from the Crypt reminds me of Creepshow.
Yeah, see, so just don't know how you view them.
Yeah, I love the way they put this movie together too in a anthology type, comic book setting.
Well, I mean, and look who's directing it.
Oh, and the frickin' stars in this film too.
And
I mean, you've got everybody.
But I mean, you got Romero, directing it and writing by Stephen King. So I mean, look
how
at
can
that.
you go wrong? I mean, and you've got stars like Adrienne Barbeau, Hal Holbrook, Leslie Nielsen. We even see a very young Ted Danson in this.
Ted Danson.
And that was before Cheers. Or that was probably during Cheers.
During, I'd say.
I don't remember when Cheers came out.
Guy had to have been
Cheers.
Had to been early 80s.
But
Great
E.G.
show.
Marshall. I mean, just so many people in this film. I mean,
Fun one.
Yeah, very, very cool flick.
And spurred
Very
into,
cool.
different...
Very cool flick.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to throw out another one here. Probably one of my favorite in the franchise, and a lot of people will be like, "Oh, you're a frickin' moron," but that's Friday the 13th Part 3.
Ooh, yeah.
There was a big 3D craze going on in Hollywood, and everybody was trying to get into that 3D game, and they tried it with Friday the 13th, and it works to an extent. I honestly, I've got it, the 3D version and the regular version. I can't stand watching the 3D version. The regular version, if the lights are off and you're close enough to the TV, it works. And that's, probably the version that most people have seen, because unless you're, diehard fan and you went out and you got the 3D pack for it, you probably haven't seen the 3D version of this movie.
I still have the 3D pack with the two glasses in it.
Yeah, so do I.
Unopened.
Yeah. Well, mine's open because I had to watch it.
Yeah, mine's unopened still.
But, this movie was directed by Steve Miner. And I'm just going to throw this out there. I'll tell you why it's my favorite Friday the 13th. This is the movie where where Jason finds his iconic hockey mask. And we see Voorhees as he is today.
Voorhees.
And I love it. There's some good kills in there. The biker gang.
Yeah, it's a good one, guys.
Yeah, great movie. Great movie.
Cool. Well, another second edition of a movie that I like is Amityville 2.
Amityville 2, yeah. Amityville 2 was a good continuation
movie.
of that story.
Yes, I thought so.
The third one wasn't too bad either, and then they start going downhill pretty quick. The Slayer! Oh, sorry.
Amityville 2, I think, like you said, it's a good, second rendition of the movie, or part 2 of the movie. This one, it's kind of crazy when you see the difference, I feel, in the budget and the directing, like between this, like this and Poltergeist.
Yeah.
It just seems like Poltergeist had a lot more, oomph to it.
Yeah.
But Amityville 2 is a great film. One that you won't waste your time on if you just want to watch it. You're looking for something to watch close to Halloween or whatever, or if it's just the nighttime you want to watch a scary movie. You won't be disappointed with this one.
No, not at all. Not at all. Another good mention is we started the Slumber Party Massacre series in 1982. These movies,
TNA, baby.
all about TNA, all about TNA, and that was glorification in the 80s. I mean, if you wanted to make a movie and have it sell, you got to show some TNA.
Yeah, baby.
So, and this movie definitely did that.
So from now on, I'm gonna start doing the show with my shirt off.
Yeah, do it.
TNA, baby.
I got my puke bucket over here, so
DNA.
yeah, BNA. Yes.
So, I'll mention a movie that a lot of people, if you're a horror fan, a real horror fan, you've probably seen this and know what I'm talking about. For me, it breaks in different, layers of what I love, because it brings in someone who is a important person in the martial arts world. And also, this is a horror movie. And that
I know what you're talking about.
Silent Rage.
Yes, with the great Chuck Norris.
Fuck yeah, buddy.
Awesome movie. Awesome movie.
Great film.
That I was really big into martial arts back then, and I watched all his movies. And I remember when that film came out, I begged and begged and begged my mom to take me to the theater to see that.
Yeah, that's a great one.
And she said, "Fuck no, you're too young." So I found some other chick to take me. And
Somebody else's mom.
great movie. Yeah.
Yes, Silent Rage, guys. Chuck Norris. I mean, you can't go wrong. You know, great movie. You know, Chuck Norris with his classic halfway unbuttoned shirt with his chest hair poking out.
Yeah. That was back when he was super cool too.
I love Chuck Norris. He's still cool. Fucking man, dude. Look how old he is, and he's still out there kicking
and he's still
ass.
out there beating everybody's ass.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Beating everybody's ass. All right, so I popped off with this movie the other night, and we're just going to talk about it for a minute. Somebody had posted this film, and I had forgotten all about it, so I watched it the other day, and that's the movie Visiting Hours. Visiting Hours is a movie about a killer that has gotten into a hospital, and he's hunting down a woman in the hospital. The thing that really sticks out in this movie is Michael Ironsides is the killer.
Yeah.
And if you guys know who he is, you know, from Scanners, and he was in
everything.
What was the Starship Troopers?
Yes.
You know, he's always a badass in the shit he's in. And another actor you may or may not know was William Shatner is in this.
William Shatner.
You know, it's not the greatest film in the world, but it's not a bad watch. Even now, even to watch it today, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
William Shatner, a.k.a. the face of the shape.
Yes.
Hey.
He was in horror before he was even in horror.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. That's not true. He did a movie back in the early 70s called Kingdom of the Spiders. Probably one of my favorite tarantula movies, or spider movies.
Licking freaks. Yeah, I mean, Michael Ironside, too, there. I mean, he's in everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But another one that's great that came out is Basket Case. Yeah, Basket Case, guys. I mean, come on.
That movie's a cult classic.
Come on with it. You know? You can't go wrong with a good old... What's the word I'm looking for?
Freak?
Freak, yeah, just
a monster in a basket?
Monster, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Great film.
Tisket a tasket, it's a killer monster in a basket.
Look at him go. Him poet, and he didn't know it.
Yeah.
Hickory dickory
yeah.
dock.
Ryan was sucking my cock.
Whoa! What's in the bowl, bitch? Oh, sorry. Andrew Dice Clay.
But, the
out.
Dice Man.
Shout out.
Dice Man was big in 82. Telling you right now. Yeah, Basket Case was one of those films that, like, it truly is the definition of a cult classic. And everybody has different definitions for cult classics. To me, a cult classic is one of those movies that when it came out, didn't do very good in the theater. Not a lot of people saw it, but as the years went by, it gained traction in the horror community. And just about anybody that is a big horror fan knows this film and has seen this film.
Yes.
Very cool. You know, I don't want to get too much into it because it's a brother thing and he's killing and very cool. I don't know what the hell just happened there.
What'd you do?
I don't know. Something popped up on the screen, but then it went away.
Usually happens like that.
Yeah. But
pops up and then goes away pretty quickly.
And hey, while we're in the bees, let's talk about The Beast Within.
Ooh.
The Beast Within was you could consider that a possession movie. Really wasn't possessed. This guy had a beast. I mean, that's the only way I can put it. He had some sort of evil entity inside his body, and he would transform. and kill people. Very cool movie. I watched this movie several times when I was a kid because, you know, when I was a kid back in the 80s, you know, these cable channels, and they may still do this, they'd play the same movie like 500 times a month, you know. So a lot of these a lot of these horror movies I watched several times. Mm-hmm. I may not have wanted to watch it again, but it was the only thing on, and it was horror, so I was going to watch it.
There you go. There you go. So the beast with so that's kind of like the beast from Split, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, would you look at that?
Well, yeah.
So there's any honorable mentions in here that we
had in 1982. We talked about this in the last episode. They continued on with the don't movies. 1982, we had Don't Go to Sleep, and that gets really bad come 1984. But we'll talk about that soon. And then Don't Look in the Attic was another one.
Yeah.
You know, so many don't movies out there.
See, there's anyone, The House on
Sorority Row, another good sorority house. You know, massacre, slasher. The House on Sorority Row, if I remember right, that was the driller killer, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he killed the chicks with a big ass freaking drill.
Yeah, buddy. Can't go wrong with you know, sorority houses.
And then I'll give this one a little mention. There was a movie called The House Where Evil Dwells, and basically what it was this couple moves into they're living in China, and they move into a house. Well, the people that lived in the house before, the husband had went crazy and killed his entire family, and then killed himself inside the house. And every night this woman would see the scene happen over and over again. And what do they call that when they do the sword? It's like I don't remember. Yeah, there's a name for it.
Yeah.
Committed Harry Carey? No. I don't know. Holy cow, folks!
Holy cow, Harry Carey.
I don't remember what. There's a name for that, where they plunge the sword into their stomach and commit suicide.
Yeah. When you
Hiroshima or something. I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah.
Humongous is worth a good mention. A good creature feature.
Canada.
Yeah.
Canada.
Hey, shout out to Bill Van Vagel. Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday to you. Yeah.
Invitation to Hell. I'll have that on Monday. I get to go back to work.
Hey.
Hey.
The living dead girl.
I wonder if that's where Rob Zombie got that from. The Living Dead Girl from 1982. Madman. Madman's one that we have to mention here. That was Madman Mars.
Madman Mars.
That was a camping. It was kind of a ripoff of Friday the 13th, kind of. About a killer that they start out telling the story about Madman Mars and to a group of kids around a campfire, and then slowly but surely they all get killed off.
Yeah. So yeah, guys. I mean,
1982. There's a whole lot.
You know, keep going with them, but we want to mention some of our favorites and stuff, and then give you guys a couple little ones you guys might not have seen that you might.
The Winged Serpent came out in 1982. I watched this one the other day, Superstition. It was actually pretty good. Somebody had mentioned it on one of the Facebook groups that we follow, and it was pretty decent. Basically, it's a family who move into a house that was once the site of a witch's execution. Ooh, yeah. So there's some ghost story and some witchery going on there. And then, of course, we got Dario Argento with Tenebrae and just all kinds of stuff. Oh, Extro. Extro is probably the weirdest fucking movie I've ever seen in my life. And I say that I have seen The Void. Extro is frickin' bizarre.
So, yet again, another movie you should watch on mushrooms or acid.
Extra is one of those movies where a woman gives birth to a full-grown man.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
weird.
I like it.
Weird. But anyway, 1982, folks.
Another great year.
Yeah.
A lot of great things came out of that.
Lots of cool stuff going on there.
Let's move it now. See, here.
We had some big stuff. We had some little stuff. And then we had my stuff.
Yeah. Which is nowhere in between.
All right. So now.
We're going to move to 83. And
83.
there's probably some that I haven't seen in 83. But my thing with 83 is that there are some fucking classics, greats that came out that year. But there wasn't a whole lot. Now, don't kill me. I haven't watched them all yet. If you guys have any suggestions, let us know. But that I've seen that really, hit the, the button for me.
Well, I'm gonna throw two out there right now that really hit the button for me, and they're both from the same writer, and that is Christine and Cujo.
Well, of course. I mean,
them two films alone.
So let's talk about
could
Cujo.
have made 1983.
So Cujo, which my son wants to watch, pretty good film. Crazy that it could be such a good film when most of it is based in a car.
Yeah. Another D.
know.
Wallace movie.
So great movie for the 80s. This movie again came out and ended up being like a cult classic, kind of. It's crazy how you don't have to spend so much money or have a huge
budget to get a good scare.
to get a scare out of somebody. Yeah. Or have like this big elaborate set. You just put it in a fucking car.
Yep.
So
I've seen a few movies like that, and some of them work really well, and this was one of them.
a movie that I can recently think of, fairly recently, probably came out in 2010 maybe or something. Devil.
Where they're trapped in the elevator? Yeah.
Pretty good one. Pretty good one.
Yeah, there was one that I just watched not too long ago. I think it was called Howl.
Yeah.
And it was about people trapped on a train that was surrounded by werewolves. Or a werewolf that was a completely badass werewolf that was like ripping the train car apart.
Hell yeah.
But, Cujo, written by Stephen King. What can you say about that?
Exactly.
Great story, great movie. And then we're going to move to Christine.
Fuck yes.
Christine, written by Stephen King. How did Stephen King get two movies out in the same year?
Cocaine.
And he had nothing to do with either one of them other than he wrote the book.
Cocaine.
But Christine, the reason why Christine is at the top of the list is because of the director.
Well, it's a great film. But why is it a great film?
Why is it a great film?
John Carpenter.
John Carpenter, folks.
That's why.
John Carpenter is gold when it comes to horror movies, especially in the 80s.
And Christine, I'm going to save talking too much about this one. This one's probably going to make my list. Great film, dude. Still holds up.
Yeah.
Really fun film to watch. If you have not seen Christine, I'm sure you have. If you're listening to this podcast, you've probably seen it. But if not, go. Or if you haven't seen it in a long time, go fucking watch it again. Because I promise you, you're like, damn, this movie holds up great.
Yeah, and it really does. I watched it not too long ago.
I mean, fucking good film, dude. Just such good film. Absolutely in love with the fucking blue Charger. The 68, I think, Charger. It's in there. God, I love that fucking car. But anyways, great film.
And of course, Christine was a Plymouth Fury.
Yes.
But
yeah, I mean...
had Keith Gordon, John Stockwell, Alexandra Paul. Just a great all-around fun movie, very disturbing, and it really shows you the obsession that people have with things and people and how it can drive you mad.
Great film.
Yeah.
You will not be
Very
disappointed,
cool.
I promise you.
Show me.
Show me. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Great soundtrack.
Absolutely.
So let's move on and go to one that we didn't mention because the first two I think came out before the 80s. Maybe Jaws 3.
Jaws came out in like 78 or something like that. I think. I'm going to look because I don't want to be wrong. Oh, 75. Jaws came out in 75, and then Jaws 2 probably came out, a couple of years later.
Yeah, and then Jaws 3 came out.
It came out in 78. And then Jaws 3 came out in 83.
So, did I care that much for Jaws 3? It's okay.
It's all right. I mean, it's worth a mention.
Worth a mention.
And why is it worth a mention? Again, folks, early 80s, everybody was into 3D, and it was Jaws 3D.
Woo!
Go figure. We can't make this shit up, people.
I can't make this shit up.
All right, so I'm going to talk about another weird movie. We're going to talk about The Hunger.
Ew.
The Hunger starred David Bowie, Susan Sarandon, and basically the plot behind this movie was it was a love triangle between a doctor who specializes in sleep and aging research and a vampire couple.
Sweet.
So there's a lot of bloodletting in this film.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love scenes.
Yeah.
And a very good soundtrack to this movie. But anyway, had to mention it because it's David Bowie. I mean, David Bowie was the king of the castle, late 70s, early 80s.
King of the castle.
And he did this movie. This was directed by Tony Scott. Movie was very well acclaimed. Of course, it's a UK movie that was brought to the States, and it did fantastic. And the movie is still fairly decent to watch. It is weird. It's out there. But it's out there because of the storyline, not because of how they filmed it or the people that are in there. The storyline's weird. But it's pretty good flick.
Pretty good flickaroo.
Pretty good flick. And then we got two others. There's one of Bill's favorites, Microwave Massacre. I have not seen that movie, so I can't tell you anything about it.
We will see.
Bill has been trying to get us to watch that movie, and perhaps we will.
Perhaps.
Quizás. But there are two other movies that are very close to each other, and that is Mausoleum and Mortuary. Like I said, I'm really big into ghost stories, and I'm fascinated by cemeteries and stuff like that. So whenever I see one of these, kind of movies, I have to watch them. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. And from what I remember, Mausoleum was not a great film, but it's a decent watch. Mortuary's pretty good, though.
Yeah.
And they both have the same kind of story. People move into an old mortuary and, blah, blah, blah.
Madness ensues.
Madness ensues.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So let's not forget about a little movie called Sleepaway Camp. Let's not forget about the campy movies.
Yeah. Felissa Rose in this movie is just fantastic. She plays her part perfectly. She's a young girl in this film that is picked on by all the other campers, and there's this movie is a true camping slasher. They took a lot of cues from Friday the 13th.
Yes.
But then they skewed away from Friday the 13th. In Friday the 13th, you pretty much knew who the killer was the whole time. In Sleepaway Camp, they kept everything a secret until the huge twist at the end. What a twist it is. Don't care. I still think she is just absolutely gorgeous. But yeah. Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah, good movie, guys. Good
Yeah.
movie. You won't miss out on that one.
And then another one I want to mention, Videodrome.
Oh, yeah.
Videodrome was a David Cronenberg film. David Cronenberg is the king of weird. A lot of his films are very bizarre and out there story-wise, which is what makes them so good. He is a fantastic filmmaker, and in this one, he hired one of the best actors at the time to play in his film. That's James Woods. And he played his part perfectly in this. This movie has got a lot of dream sequences in it and a lot of strangeness. So it's really bizarre because a lot of things happen within the dream and then they're actually really happening in life.
Is this really happening?
But the one big scene in this movie that I just absolutely always loved was when he's sitting in the chair watching TV, and he's James Woods, and he's got his shirt off, and that's why I love it, because he's got his shirt off. Fucking sexy beast. But anyway, he's sitting there, and he's holding a pistol in his hand, and I think he's having a drink or whatever, and he's watching TV, and you can see he's kind of dozing, but he's taking the barrel of the gun and he's rubbing it up and down on his stomach.
Oh, yeah, keep talking.
And then all of a sudden it shows his stomach like break open a little bit, and he takes the gun and puts it inside his stomach and puts his whole hand in there and pulls his hand out. And when he pulls his hand out, he wakes up, his gun's gone, and there's no hole in his stomach. Where's the gun at? You know, a very cool scene. They filmed that very well.
Oh yeah, James
very
Woods,
well.
God love him.
James Woods is a fantastic actor.
Actor? Yeah,
Actor.
He's a great actor, guys.
He was. He was.
But don't forget about.
You've got James Woods.
Don't forget about Psycho 2.
Psycho 2.
Psycho Killer. Yes, great movie. Psycho 2 is a good one. From 83. Like I said, guys.
Anthony Perkins.
Yes. And then a couple more I'd like to mention on this one. The Dead Zone.
The Dead Zone, another Stephen King book.
You know, can't go wrong with it. Decent little film from that time. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't the Twilight Zone come out in 83? Or am I wrong on that?
See, I don't remember that.
I might be wrong on that one. I was trying to remember the year on that one. Do.
Oh.
Yeah, the Twill White.
Well, white. How did I do that?
83. That's what it says.
1983. Wow. Wasn't even in our list. Very cool film, though. Anthology type film. They took what was originally a television show created by Rod Serling, and they turned it on its ear. I mean, they went way over the top with this.
I love Dan Aykroyd. I love Dan Aykroyd.
John Lithgow on the airplane.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
There's such good scenes in that
But
movie.
Dan Aykroyd when he's riding the car, you know?
Yeah.
You want to see something scary?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Great fucking movie.
The Big Rabbit.
You guys will like it, I promise.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen
great
that one
movie.
yet, that's a
Great
fun
movie.
one for you to watch. So I think that's about it, bud.
That's about it. 1982 and 83, folks. Some very cool movies come out. They had some misses, but they had a lot of hits.
Some important
Of course, to me, big ones of The Thing,
Christine.
Poltergeist, Christine, you know, fantastic films. But just wait till you see what's coming next.
Good ones coming up, guys. You gotta listen to next episode.
Because 84 and 85
will
blow your mind.
Yes. Great fucking years.
But anyway, folks, thanks for sticking with us. We love you guys.
And more importantly, as always, until next time,
Keep it creepy.